I love football. I cannot get enough of football. I watch it on every level.
The emotional release. You know, whether it's an exciting play that gets you all jacked up and juiced, or whether it's the fact that you're able to pour everything you have. Whatever frustration you had that week, you can put into that first kickoff coverage, that first block that you have, whatever it might be.
And I couldn't think of anything better to do to fill that void that you have as a football player than to get into coaching.
You get a chance to release a lot of emotion that you otherwise have no place to release. There's nothing else like that.
Again, the relationships you build and the people you're around, and watching the guys compete, not just on the football field, but in life after they get done playing. It's just an amazing game.
And don't forget to check out and order your copy of our latest book, Stiff Arming Football Myths. You can find this available in both paperback and PDF form on our website at footballgameplan.com/books. You can say that this is the biggest question offensively for Cleveland because of the uncertainty. If it were me, I would have started Johnny Manziel last season. Ready or not, you learn by doing. I don't buy the Hoyer gave us the best chance to win talk, because if that was the case, number one, you wouldn't have taken a quarterback in the first round, and two, Hoyer would still be in Cleveland playing this year. Fast forward to now, and you have Josh McCown. In my opinion, this is the same Hoyer story all over again. You can't convince me that McCown is a better football player than Johnny Manziel. The other reason why you should start Manziel is because you'll get a better idea of whether or not he's your guy moving forward. You can't get that picture throwing him in 8 quarters. The time is now to sink or swim with your first round pick. Thad Lewis and Connor Shaw will battle for number 3, and I actually like both guys, and I hope they find a way to stick on the roster. This is a strong group for the Browns. Everyone brings something unique to the table. Terrence West has good vision and runs with good pad level. He's a guy that gets better with each carry. Isaiah Crowell has tremendous burst and is a one-cut downhill runner, but I feel like rookie third-round pick Duke Johnson out of Miami is the complete back. Johnson has elusiveness, breakaway speed, and the ability to excel in the passing game. In my opinion, he should be the lead guy, but overall, I think the Browns can get a good 18 to 2,000 yards combined from this group. Without Josh Gordon, the Browns receiving core lacks a true game breaker, but that doesn't mean they can't be effective. In free agency, they signed 2 steady veterans in Dwayne Bowe from Kansas City and Brian Hartline from the Dolphins. At this point, both are possession guys, but they do have 3 players with quicks and the burst that can create yards after the catch in Andrew Hawkins, Taylor Gabriel, and Travis Benjamin. Rookie 4th-round pick Vince Mayle, in my opinion, is a Brandon Marshall clone, and what he does underneath, I think he'll be their number 2 guy by the season's end. 2 intriguing players in Rodney Smith and Terrell Pryor. Smith is a big receiver that plays big and could do well on the inside, while Pryor, in my opinion, is probably the best quarterback on the roster, but that's another story. He's trying to make the stereotypical switch to wide receiver, but you can't expect him to be a factor at a position he hasn't played his entire life. I do love his attitude and his work ethic, so he will succeed no matter what he does. At tight end, even without Jordan Cameron, I think there's potential here for the Browns. They brought in Rob Hausler from the Cardinals via free agency, and Hausler is in a receiving mode of Jordan Cameron. Both Jim Dre and Gary Barnidge are tremendous assets because of their ability to block and be dependable in the passing game. I would also keep an eye on undrafted free agent E.J. Bibbs out of Iowa State. Bibbs has Delaney Walker-like skills, and I think he could have a huge impact as an H-back. You can argue that the Browns have the best offensive line in the division. This is a strong group across the board. Left tackle Joe Thomas and center Alex Mack are premier talents. Mitchell Schwartz and Joe Bitonio are 2 really good young versatile players up front. Bitonio is coming off an excellent rookie season. And rookie first-round pick Cameron Irving out of Florida State can play any one of the 5 positions along the offensive line. I think you'll either see him at right guard or right tackle, moving John Greco, who also played well, into a reserve role. And there's good depth here as well with either Greco or Irving, Ryan Seymour, Vincent Painter, and a guy I really like in Kareem Barton out of Morgan State. This is where the Browns took significant steps toward improving their run defense in the offseason. In the first round of the draft, they selected mammoth nose tackle Danny Shelton out of Washington, who will be a day one and impact starter at the nose. They also drafted Xavier Cooper out of Washington State to provide depth at tackle. Now, also, the signing of Randy Starks was a big one, I believe, as Starks, in my opinion, can still play at a starter level at 31 years old. The other starter at end is Desmond Bryant, who's coming off a 5-sack, 49-tackle season. Shelton will move Phil Taylor to a more reserve role where he will be better suited, and it'll keep him healthy for a full 16 games. They also have some good young players with upside like Ishmael Kitchen, John Hughes, and Jamie Meter. Now, Meter was an undrafted free agent last year out of Ashland, and he can play multiple spots up front. The Browns are strong at linebacker, and on the inside, both Carlos Dansby and Craig Robertson are solid starters, and I'm also a big fan of second-year player Christian Kirksey, and I think a Kirksey-Robertson interior is a real good one. So Dansby may start to give a little time to Kirksey, who consistently improved as a rookie. Paul Kruger led the team in sacks with 11 and proved to be worth the free agent signing. Opposite of him, Barkevius Mingo is solid versus the run, but isn't the pass rusher that many thought he was coming out of LSU. That's why I think you'll see a lot of Armani Bryant and rookie second-round pick Nate Orchard out of Utah. Bryant can play with his hand in the dirt as well. Orchard graded out as a first-round talent to me, and I think he was a huge steal for Cleveland. If it were my choice, he'd start opposite of Kruger because Orchard has complete game on both ends of defense. I also like the depth with guys like Tank Carter, the inside backer, outside backer Scott Solomon, and I would keep an eye on undrafted rookie free agent Mike Riley out of William & Mary. I saw him live versus Stony Brook this year, and he's in the mold of Kruger. He's strong at the point of attack with the ability to flatten and accelerate to the quarterback. Cleveland, in my opinion, has the best secondary in the division. The Browns get really strong safety play from Tashawn Gibson and Dante Whitner, and Gibson led the team in interceptions last year with 6. Both Jordan Poyer and rookie fourth-round pick Ibrahim Campbell out of Northwestern are two versatile safeties able to play both safety spots and match up one-on-one versus tight ends and receivers. The loss of Buster Skrine won't affect the Browns' cornerback situation as they are still a stout group. Joe Hayden is one of the best in the league who can play anywhere in the secondary, and the club hopes second-year man Justin Gilbert can play his way into the number 2 spot, but they signed veteran Tramon Williams, who could win the spot, with the loser likely becoming the nickel. I think that's still a good problem to have. I personally think Gilbert improves by leaps and bounds this season, and Cleveland has to figure out a way to get Pierre Desir on the field a little bit more. The second-year corner out of Lindenwood showcased the talent he displayed all throughout his college career and throughout the Shrine and Senior Bowl week. Kawan Williams has also played good ball in the secondary. Like I said before, this is a deep and talented group. Big time concern with the kicking game. It looks like the battle will be between Travis Coons and Carrie Spear. Whomever wins the job has to not be a detriment to team success. Punter is a little bit more stable with the veteran Andy Lee being signed in the offseason, and there's no issue in the return department as there are a wealth of options from Travis Benjamin, Justin Gilbert, and Jordan Poyer. I would also keep an eye on undrafted free agent cornerback Deontay Pop Saunders out of Tennessee State, who was one of the top returnmen in the FCS. I have the Browns finishing 4th in the AFC North. Defensively, the Browns will be top 10. I think their ground game will also be amongst the best. Now, getting consistent and competent play from the passing game will be the difference in fighting for the playoffs or still having questions about that position next year. This is not a bad football team by no stretch of the imagination and will be a tough opponent week in, week out. And I also want to give a huge shout out to Brown fan forums for always showing football game plan support.